I'm just with Salome Mbugua here. She's a very delectable lady, and within the African community in Ireland, I think everybody knows her, so she's very popular, and I'm very, very excited talking to her today. Salome, today is Africa Day. What do you want to say about it? How do you feel?
I think actually, and I always wait for Africa Day every year. It's such an important day in my calendar, because I'm a very busy woman and I do quite a lot of things. But the Africa Day in Ireland is a day that I look forward to. This year, apparently, it follows on Sunday the 24th, which is today. And I'm actually very delighted to be here. What makes me very excited about the day is because everybody is very excited. It's like being in Africa in a day.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just seeing Africa being celebrated in a very positive manner, where we can be able to exhibit, the wealth we have in Africa, because Africa is a very wealthy continent. With its 54 countries, it's such a wealthy continent, not only with the gold, the diamond, all these resources that we have, and many people would know Africa because of especially the sceneries, the animals and all that. But it's also about the culture. It's also about the people. It's about, the food, the music, the humor of the African people in itself. And I think that is normally brought to this Phoenix Park on an Africa Day. So I'm actually very excited. It's like, for me, it's like walking in the air on an African Day in Ireland, because it's unusual to see Africa being celebrated in this major style, And really, the Irish people, and in particular Irish Aid, has contributed so much to this happening. And it's very, very good. It makes me very excited to see this happening. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I can smell the African food. I can see the sense and humor of African people, and also Irish people are also entering in colors and the beauty and activities for everybody. That we have our children having activities, we have adults and grown-up having the activities as well. And seeing many people celebrating Africa, for me, it's quite significant, and it's the best of the best I can actually ever talk about.
Yeah, very interesting. You've said it all. This is a major celebration now in Ireland, and we as Africans, I think we should be very proud of a day like today.
Absolutely. I've had so many Africans saying that we've not been involved quite a lot in organizing this day, and it's true. I think we need to talk to our Irish government, because you see, we are Irish citizens. For example, I've been here for the last 21 years. I think it would be important to engage more with Africans in organizing for Africa Day. It would be good to support them.
Salome, to tell you the truth, I was having this conversation with somebody earlier on.
Yes.
Yeah. I see it's good to see all these volunteers around, but you don't get to see many Africans as involved in the organizing itself.
Yeah.
So I think it's about time we have a one-to-one talk with the Irish government about this, because Africa Day is big, it's huge now in Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no need of commercializing the day. It's good to make it the day for the people.
Yeah.
And actually, because we are talking about African people who are here, it's not that these African people are far away in Africa. Because when people talk about Africa, it's like it's very far away out there. When you want to talk about Nigeria, Nigeria is here with us. Kenya is here with us. Somalia is here with us. We cannot just talk about the war and bad things that are happening there. Yet we have even representatives of those countries who are here that can contribute positively about positive things that are happening. But that's not the issue here. The issue is that Africa Day cannot be Africa Day without Africans being involved. And we need to organize ourselves as Africans and actually challenge this of not being involved and see how we can be involved more. We need actually to be able to express ourselves. And despite the fact that you see so many African stands and African people here, people just come, as part of coming. It's a high time people are involved more. We need to talk to the Irish government, because they've been very supportive of Africa and Africa Day itself, to see on how people can be engaged more.
Okay, Salome, you founded this organization AKIDWA.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think recently now you've just stepped down. What happened?
Yeah, you see, I'm the founder of AKIDWA, and I actually came up with the AKIDWA vision back in 1999. It was so difficult actually to establish that platform for migrant women in Ireland. And for me, establishing the whole organization came as a result of the isolation people were experiencing at the time, the experiences of racism, the experiences of discrimination, that people could not actually be able to access some of the very needed services. And so when we started AKIDWA, I felt that having that platform in itself was so significant and important to have. And many African people, and not only African women, have benefited from that network.
Yeah, of course.
For example, take the campaign on the deportation of a parent of Irish citizen, of which actually myself I went mobilizing people to help in the campaign and all that. Around 17,000 parents were to be deported with their children, and we campaigned for that to stop. Just like the way we have been campaigning for the years for marriage equality, we actually went into the street of Dublin calling for parents not to be deported. So the whole idea of AKIDWA was actually to promote that equality and justice for migrants, and in particular Africans, because our concerns was about the African people. And again, it's because of the way Africa has been profiled as a poor continent, poor people. They are coming here to grab our social welfare. They are coming here because they are desperate and all that. And we wanted to give a very different face of African people, that we are well competent, we are able, and we can do things. So after 14 years of fighting and working with the government to develop new policies like the policy on female genital mutilation, and building that platform which is very strong now, I felt we have to move forward. Because for me, it's not only because when you talk about migrant and Africans, people think about asylum seekers. We have Africans who are very competent. We actually, according to the researches that has been done during the time I've been in AKIDWA, is that majority of the migrants who come here, in particular African people, are very well educated. Most of them have diplomas, degrees, some of them even more than one, And these people are contributing so much here in Ireland and to their home countries, whether it's through volunteering. For example, look at yourself. You come with your skills of, being, working with the media and all that, and you go out there. This is not the Irish government actually sponsoring you to do what you're doing. You get out there and see, I have these skills and I want actually to, showcase them and show people that we can do something. So for me, I wanted to move a level up from my own career and from my own progression in life. I wanted to move beyond fighting for those equalities and justice. And actually what I'm fighting now, I'm working with an organization called Wezesha.
1 second, please. Would you say that you're stepping down from AKIDWA to move forward?
It's actually because what I wanted is to extend, to move beyond fighting for only those rights, but to fight for equal treatment and like being looked, we are competent enough to play the same game with the Irish people. For example, our organization Wezesha, which is actually Swahili for Empower, is the African-led development organization. Get it? African-led development organization. And what we are doing with this organization is profiling Africans in Ireland. What we are doing at the moment, we are having a mapping exercise, which is a kind of a research. Mapping who are Africans in Ireland. What is their level of education? What are they doing? What are their talents? Are they supporting projects or things back to Africa? Or here are they doing anything? Just to showcase that African people are very competent. What we hear is that, they come to grab our social welfare. They come to, to do this and that. But they are equally very competent people. If only they are given the opportunity to showcase and to, the opportunity to show what they can do, or to be engaged and to be involved, they can actually contribute to what maybe Ireland is looking for in the international development of Africa. So we are hoping that Wezesha will be actually recognized as the Africa-led diaspora development organization here in Ireland. We hope to work with our own Africans to be able actually to showcase out there. We are competent enough, we are able, we understand about our own continent, and we are not only contributing to the development of our own continent. If we are supported by that Irish government as well, we can do even much better. And that's what we are looking for as Wezesha.
Okay, so basically the job of this new organization, Wezesha,
yes,
I don't know if I pronounce it properly. So this is more about fighting for equal rights, right? For
equal rights, to be on the same foot, with anybody else. For example, Wezesha is the same as Troke, is the same as Concern Worldwide.
All right.
The only difference, the only approach we are using, it's as African diaspora leading that development. So if for example, let's say an organization like Christian Aid can go and work in Democratic Republic of Congo, of where we are working as well, we also want to show that we have an element that is actually very different from, let's say, Christian Aid. Because us as the African diaspora living in Ireland, we have the connections. Because the way we are doing it is that we get the Congolese people living here in Ireland, to be able to work with them in our home countries, for example in Congo, and actually work towards the development of what is happening in Congo by raising issues of human rights, raising awareness about what is happening there, but also contributing with the skills that we have gathered over the years, we have gained over the years as well, the talent and the skills. In other words, what we want to happen is that we be recognized that we are equal when we come to the platform of fighting for our own development. We don't want to be looked less. We are equally, we have many Africans with the PhD, so many Africans who have done development education in Kimé Jimena or University College Dublin or DCU, but are they being used properly to be able actually to work toward the development of Africa?
Getting all the education is one thing. Actually giving the opportunity to use those skills and the education to practice. Also, you need an opening.
Yes.
So a situation where you then go and sit down with your degrees because you found that opportunity.
Yeah.
We think strongly that the government needs to look into that and try to create more opportunities.
Absolutely. The other thing we are looking from, Wezesha point of view is like we are questioning. You have to be a critical thinker when you're thinking about international development. We've had so many organizations, for example, in Congo, which have been trying to help all these recurring conflict that is going on. But leave alone even Congo, we have organizations in Kenya, in Nigeria and all that. But how comes our people are still so poor? How comes the situation of the people, the livelihood, the conflict and war is not changing? Because what has been created there is a very dependency model. And what you're talking about as a Wezesha is an empowerment model. This dependency model is that, if people are waiting to be given seed in March, they'll be waiting for every March to be given those seeds. But the approach that we are coming up with as Wezesha, we go back to our people in Lagos, in Nigeria. We tell them, you people have resources, whether it's your own farms that you own, whether it's your own small money that you have. Can we be able to add you, if you have 200 naira, to gather the much you can gather, and we actually top you times 2 of what you have. But going to people and giving them every match free, they will never go and fish for themselves. They'll be waiting for every year. So what Wezesha is actually critically looking into is into challenging this dependency model and telling our people it's a high time you start thinking about your own development from within yourself rather than having to wait for outside.
The world situation, if you ask me, that the world setup is just like a situation where you have food in your house, but you don't know how to prepare this food. You're expecting somebody else to come to your house, take that food and cook, and then decide how much they need to serve you.
Absolutely. And we have very good case studies. For example, we are working in a project in Congo. When we went and told the women we don't have money, we want to use the resources that they have. One woman came and said, I have 10 acres of land. How can we use this land? So at the moment they are planting trees, which will actually go towards climate change.
Of course.
And they're also planting fruit. In Congo, they import everything from South Africa.
Really?
Almost everything. In Kenya, for example, we make our own juice. We call it Del Monte. But in Congo, they're actually importing from South Africa. So what we are doing with the women, the project we have with the women, they plant the fruits, and very soon, if God help, we are going to establish a manufacturing company. They make their own juice and they produce their own juice. This we have to work with the government. We have to work with everybody.
And also the government in those countries too.
Absolutely. It may take time, but we want people to start thinking on how they can actually use the resources that they have within, rather than having to wait for so long. We have other projects, for example, in Kenya. And in Kenya, you hear about living in the slums, the wretched of the earth, or the very, very poor. So what we are saying is that this is actually the cycle of poverty. It continue to, I left, for example, I worked as a social worker in Kenya, and the people I left in the slums have given birth to children, and those children have given birth to more children. So their life doesn't move. So what we are trying to explain to them is that they hire land outside the slum. They work in that land, they get money, and in future they might be able to buy that land and build maybe a little bit maybe of a permanent life, which make them to move out of that cycle
and get a bit of improvement for their life.
Yeah, so we really have to think in those terms. And I think us as Africans who are outside Africa have the privilege and the opportunity to be able to look into these things in a manner that we are capable and we would be able to contribute so much towards the development of our own continent. We have to think beyond our imagination, because we might actually be the left theory of development to be able to save Africa. Otherwise, if we don't think, Africa will be where it is in 100 years to come, with that dependency model, waiting and waiting to be given by all these international NGOs, which goes and give, it's not bad in giving, but also we have to come with an approach that our people get to know they can do things themselves and they can move beyond waiting to be given every time.
Okay, Salome, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, and I hope people can go to our website. At the moment, like I've said, we have a mapping exercise that is going on, for the African diaspora in Ireland. We want the African diaspora to be engaged and to understand what is going on.
So what is your website?
Our website is www.wezeshadada.com.
Okay, do you want to spell that, Wezesha?
Yes, www.wezeshadada.com. Okay. Please go to our website, Wezesha. Wezeshadada.com. Okay. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and hopefully we can get more Africans getting an understanding of our approach.